welcome back to my channel and to a very special first episode of my new series, which is called Cook with Natasha Summar. And thank you guys so much for your positive response in regards to this series. I'm so excited about it. If you do want to learn more about what this series entails and how it's going to work, I will link the video above where I introduced it and told you guys how things are going to go down. But today we're going to be cooking homemade pizza from scratch, which is a really great recipe for families, a really great recipe for takeaways, or just if you fancy something for yourself. So you can actually tailor make this to your liking. It's very, very easy to incorporate into your diet, whether you do this lactose free and use lactose free cheese and that kind of thing, whether you're vegetarian, you skip on the meats, or whether like me, you're maintaining and doing Weight Watchers, you can put each ingredient really easily. So it's a fantastic one, and thank you guys for all voting. And yeah, we're just gonna get started. So all I'm gonna do is I prepped all of the ingredients on the side here. I'm gonna go through each ingredient with you guys, tell you how we're gonna prepare things, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So grab a glass of wine, get your stuff out, and let's get cooking. Okay, so hopefully by now you guys saw the recipe list and know everything that you're going to need to make the pizzas today. The first thing that we're gonna do is our dough. Now, all the quantities are going to be in the description box down below for you guys to go and check out, so don't worry about that too much. But you're going to need some plain flour here, which we're going to sieve. Make sure that you sieve it just so it's nice and smooth and you don't get a lot of lumps. It will just produce a really nice dough. 7 grams of yeast that I need to activate first in some warm water. So I have 325 grams here of warm water, but again, all the quantities are going to be in the description box down below. So I'm just going to combine the yeast and the water and then mix it in with the flour. I'm just going to mix it in until all the yeast has dissolved. Okay, so that is now all mixed. I'm just going to add this into my flour. And I'm just going to add a dash of pepper. Again, this is optional. You can add garlic in here, chili, whatever flavourings you want to add to your dough. I'm just going to add salt and pepper. Very, very simple one. And then we're going to move over to my mixer. This is the K-Mix one by Kenwood. I absolutely love it. I've been using it for about, I want to say 7 years now, and it's in regular use. Like I use it 2 to 3 times a week and I adore it. So we're going to be using it with the dough attachment to make the dough. This is going to stand and mix for, I would say, give it a good 5 minutes. And that'll just, again, it'll produce a really nice light and airy dough. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll it out and then put it into a bowl with a hot towel over it. And it's going to sit and proof for at least an hour. Preferably 4 hours, but if like me today you don't have the time to do that, an hour should be sufficient, and then it will double in size and we're ready to roll out. Okay, so the dough has had its time, and right now it is feeling a little bit sticky. So what I like to do before I roll it out and take it out of the bowl is put a tiny bit of olive oil on my hands. This just makes it easier. It means that things don't stick to me quite as easily. And I also do this to the bowl as well. So whatever bowl that this ends up into proof, I kind of go around it with my hands with a bit of olive oil. And again, this just prevents unnecessary sticking. Okay, so the dough is now out, and as you can see, it's a really lovely textured dough. And the fact that we have put a bit of oil on our hands makes it really pliant, really easy to maneuver. And I've also sprinkled and dusted the work surface with flour as well, and this is just going to make it easy for us to roll it out initially. And all I'm going to do is knead it for a couple of minutes just to mix it nicely and just get it into a nice shape for me then to add to my bowl. You can do this for as long as you would like. I find this a nice activity to do when I'm feeling quite stressed or quite anxious, because I'm quite a sensory person, so I quite like to play about with the dough. But yeah, just keep kneading until you're happy with the consistency of your dough and how it feels. But it should be a really, again, nice, stretchy, soft dough. The technique is to stretch the dough and pull it back. If you have any tips on kneading dough perfectly, comment with them down below. But I feel like this is just about right now. So I'm going to add it to my bowl. So as I said, I brushed this mason bowl with some olive oil just to make sure that this doesn't stick. And I'm literally just going to sit it in there happily. Grab a hot towel or some cling film or some tin foil, cover it up and forget about it for about an hour, and put it in a nice warm place for it just to sit and rise and proof, and it gives us a great opportunity to get on with our toppings, which we're going to do now. So I'm just going to set this aside and I'll be right back. Okay, so the dough is set proving. We're not going to touch it for at least an hour. As I said, if you have longer, feel free to really let it rise. But for now, we're going to get on with our toppings. I'm going to preheat my oven to 200 degrees, and that is because I'm going to be marinating some chicken to go on top of my pizza. Again, with toppings, feel free to customize this to your liking. I'm going to be doing toppings of pancetta. So pancetta is basically a meat, kind of like bacon lardons, things like that. Feel free to use pancetta, lardons, salami, sausage, whatever you would like to add. I just find that these add a nice bit of crunch, but obviously you can really easily leave those out should you want to. As I mentioned, I have a bowl here of chicken breast that I'm going to marinate. This is free for Weight Watchers, but I will give you guys the point value for the pancetta or the lardons in a moment. I have two lovely peppers here. I have a red and a yellow. You'll notice that I never cook with green peppers, and I often get asked why, and that is because in my opinion a green pepper is an unripe pepper, so you'll never find one in my kitchen. But again, that is optional. Use whatever peppers you guys would like. I also have some cheese, of course. I have some mature cheddar that I've grated, all ready for later on. Also going to be caramelizing some onions, so I have a nice red onion here. I have 2 mushrooms that I'm going to chop up, some basil, some garlic cloves, of course some passata, which is what we're going to use to make our rich tomato sauce that is going to be the topping of our pizza. And I think, apart from the basil, that is pretty much everything. So the first thing that we're going to do together is to marinate our chicken breast. So it really is up to you guys what kind of marinade you want to do. You could do a really simple lemon and garlic. You could do basic salt and pepper with a bit of olive oil and have a really basic one. Or you can go all out like I sometimes do and whip up tandoori chicken, which I have done in a What I Eat in a Day video before. I will link that above. And that is a very simple one to do. So I feel like as soon as we're here, as soon as we're in the kitchen and we're cooking, we'll go for tandoori chicken, because I know you guys enjoyed that in my What I Eat in a Day. So if I could ask my assistant Andy to get the Helmanns mayo out of the fridge. So we have some chicken breast here, just a little bit, not too much. Again, we have a lot of flavourings going on, a lot of toppings. We don't need a lot. And all we're going to do is now marinate the chicken and make it tandoori flavoured. So to do that, we're going to need some Helmanns mayonnaise. If you don't eat mayonnaise, you can substitute this really easily by using yogurt. But we use mayo here. I think it just adds a nice consistency to the chicken, and also I feel like it is a lot smoother. I just prefer it, but feel free to use yogurt, guys. And again, I will put the quantities in the description box down below. So I'm just going to add that mayonnaise along with some tandoori powder, which you guys should be able to get really easily from any supermarket. If you didn't know I was making tandoori chicken, because I've literally just decided on a whim to do that, just do any kind of chicken marinade, garlic, lemon, whatever. Just do something really simple. You don't have to get all jiggy with it like I have today. This is the powder that I use. It's called tandoori masala. You can get it from Sainsbury's. It's really accessible, not too hard to find. So I've just added a little bit of that to the bowl as well. Get mixing. Okay, so we've mixed the chicken. I'm just going to pop that in an oven-proof dish and put it in the oven cooking. This will take about half an hour to cook, so not too long. I'm going to pop this in the oven now, and it's going to sit and cook for about 30 minutes. There we go, that is sat ticking away. And now we're going to chop up some vegetables. As you guys know, I'm not the best at chopping, but I'm just going to chop them as best as I can. Again, feel free to add whatever toppings you would like, guys. Sweet corn, tuna, literally whatever you guys would like on a pizza is what you can add. There is no hard and fast rule here. As I mentioned as well, I'm going to be doing some caramelized onion, which is actually one of my favourite things to have on a pizza. I feel like it just adds such a nice richness and depth of flavour, and I do it with Demerara sugar and it just tastes incredible. So I'm going to show you how to prepare that in a moment, but for now I'm just going to cut my onions into rings. I don't like to dice them, I like to have them in rings when I do this. But again, you can pretty much do whatever you want. I'm only going to use half of this onion though, because I'm the only person that has the caramelized onion. So that is that. And I'm also going to chop some pepper as well. While we're here, guys, it would be really interesting to know what your favourite pizza topping is. Like, what could you not do without? I feel like for me, my favourite pizza topping would have to be onion. And I know that sounds crazy, but I literally like live for veg. So I would miss onions more than I would miss chicken or pancetta. But comment down below with what your favourite pizza topping is, because I'd be really interested to know that. I'm going to start frying now, so I'm just going to pop my apron on. If you guys are wondering where this apron is from, and I absolutely love it, it is by Anthropology. It's really lovely. There's so much detail going on with it, and I love it. So yeah, it's one of my favourites, and I know I'll get asked about it, so I'll link it down below if I can. But for now, I'm going to be frying off my pancetta. Now, I will let you guys know the point value of this in a moment. And don't forget, you need to divide that by the amount of pizzas that you're doing. For the dough that we prepped, we're going to be making 4 pizzas that I would say are quite adult-sized pizzas as well. So, you know, if you're dividing it by that many people, just think about that as well. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of olive oil in the pan because this pancetta already has a lot of fat in it, so you don't need a lot of oil. I'm going to brush my pan with some olive oil and just fry off the bacon. Okay, so the bacon's cooked off. Now it is time to caramelise my onions. I'm going to be using some garlic butter to fry my onions in, but you can use olive oil, whatever you guys would like. I'm just going to use a knob of that, and again, I feel like this is going to add a lot of flavour as well. So I'm just going to put that into the frying pan, and then literally just dip my onions into the pan. And then on top of that, I'm going to give them a sprinkling of this Demerara sugar. I use literally such a light-handed sprinkle. I wouldn't even bother pointing this, guys. But obviously, if you're being really strict, feel free to do that. This just adds a really nice caramelly flavour to everything and just makes it that much more sticky and lovely. So I'm going to be adding that as well. And then I'm literally just going to fry these off. Find that when you're cooking caramelised onions and you cook them into rings, that they naturally start to separate when the heat hits them. And this is just going to make it really easy later for spreading about on the pizza. But just give them a help out, untangle them if you can, because they'll cook more evenly. And yeah, they smell incredible already, guys. Honestly, caramelised onion is one of my favourite things. And I also use this method when I'm making sausages and mash with an onion gravy. It just tastes amazing. So yeah, definitely do give this a try if, like me, you're a fan of onions. Next, I'm going to fry off both my peppers and my mushrooms, and then in the same pan, I'm going to make the pizza topping sauce. I'm just going to fry these very quickly. Okay, so in the same pan that we just fried off those mushrooms and peppers, we're now going to be making our pizza topping sauce. You can buy this, it's really easy to get a hold of, but I prefer to make my own. And I have a carton of passata here. Any passata will do. I'm just going to pop that into the warm pan. And it's going to bubble, guys. It's going to bubble quite fiercely, but that's fine. Don't worry about that too much. I'm also going to add garlic that I crushed up, along with some sprinkling of fresh basil. This is just going to give it a really nice authentic taste. When you're working with fresh basil or any kind of herbs, what I like to do is to massage the leaf in my fingertips, and what this does is it releases the oil in the herbs and just makes whatever you're cooking that much more fragrant. So top tip, give them a bit of a squeeze before you put them in. I'm also going to add a really generous sprinkling of pink Himalayan sea salt and some pepper. Again, do this to your liking. So the dough has been proving now for a little over an hour, and as you can see, it has doubled in size, and it is such a lovely smooth textured dough. So what we're going to do now is get this out of the bowl and start rolling it out into our pizzas. Okay, so the dough is out of the bowl. I'm just going to flour my worktop really generously and start to roll everything out. I'm just going to knead it for a minute or so first, and then I'm going to divide it up into 4. If you're making these pizzas for children, make them that little bit smaller, because obviously, as I've said, these are pretty much adult portion sizes when it comes to pizza. But this dough will freeze really easily, so all you would need to do is cut off the portion that you would like and then freeze the rest, or freeze it in batches and then get it out the night before you want to make a pizza, and you have a fresh base to work with the next day. It's super convenient for batch cooking, super convenient for lunches or for a spontaneous pizza night when you don't want to get the dough hook out and things like that. It's just a really lovely dough to use, and again, it just defrosts ever so nicely, so make sure that you use that to your advantage as well. So now I've kneaded it, I'm going to now divide it up into my 4. Basically a dough cutter. You can get them from Sainsbury's, places like that. They're really easy to find. And I also find this really handy for when I'm doing a meat as well, just to divide off the meat. So all I'm going to do is literally divide it into 4, and you have 4 perfect pizza sizes. So as well as putting flour on my wick surface, I'm also going to add a little bit onto my rolling pin as well, and this just ensures that the dough doesn't stick and just make my life that much harder. You can pretty much roll this into any shape that you would like, but I think it's quite charming to make them look not perfect, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like them to be fully circular. I like them to look like they're homemade, basically. But again, you could do that for your preference. And also, this is a great opportunity to get the kids involved if they're making their own pizza. It's just a really fun activity for you guys to do. And what I like to do is get it to about, I would say, a pound coin thickness when it comes to the dough. I think that's a really good size. I don't like deep stuffed crust or like a thick pizza base. Again, that is preferable to what you guys would like, but I like thin and crispy, and obviously you use less flour and it's less calories if you're pointing or anything like that. So this is the kind of size you want it at, and I find it really convenient to put it over the rolling pin and lift it like this, and then this will make it really easy for you guys to transfer onto your pizza, what's it called? Pizza tray, which looks like this. This is a standard pizza tray. I think we got these from Home Bargains, and honestly guys, they are so good. And all I'm going to do is brush it with olive oil, and again, this will just ensure that the pizza dough doesn't stick, and I think it adds a nice crisp and a nice crunch to the outside of the dough as well. But again, that's preferable. Do what you guys would like, but it makes it really easy, allegedly, when you use the rolling pin to transport it. And I'm just going to pop it straight onto the tray, and then I add my toppings straight onto it, because it's easier to transport a dough with nothing on it than it is to transport one which has the sauce on and everything. So chicken needs to come out of the oven, and then we'll get on to assembling it. Tandoori chicken has come out of the oven, and oh my goodness, it smells amazing. If you guys do have the time to whip this up, I would definitely try it at some point. This is great with just chips or a jacket potato with cheese. Honestly guys, it's incredible. And the first thing I'm going to do is add my pizza sauce. There's no easy way to do this guys. I literally just spoon it straight on from the pan. And this is such a fragrant sauce. You really can smell the basil and the garlic. It's just absolutely delicious. I like to go right to the ends of my pizza. It's so garlicky. Obviously, if you're not a big fan of garlic, you don't have to add it to the tomato sauce. You could just have a much plainer one. But I'm a bit of a garlic fiend, to Andrew's dismay. Literally just going to add toppings as I want them. So I'm going to start off by adding some peppers and mushroom. My first bout of onions. I like some on the top as well guys. It's no joke, like I really do love these onions so much. They add so much flavour, such a nice texture. I'm going to add some of the pancetta, and then some of the tandoori chicken. Shred them. And then last but by no means least, cheese. Let's have a little check. It's a good idea to babysit your pizza, just to check on it, just to make sure that it is to your liking. And I think 1 more minute and that will be perfect. And that, my friends, is the finished pizza. It looks absolutely delicious. As you can see, it's quite massive, so you'd be perfectly fine to have even a quarter of that. Is quite big, so you know, just portion it how you would like. But I'm gonna get this on the pizza cutter and give it a try. There's no easy way to do this guys. It is a case of being brave and pulling it off. As you can see, the dough is nice and thin, nice and crispy. It smells incredible, and I cannot wait to have a try. So let's plate up. So guys, I'm just about to have the first bite of my pizza. I hope you guys are ready to try it too. So, cheers. So good. It's delicious, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed this first episode of Cook with Natasha Summar. Comment down below, let me know if you guys have made this pizza, what you thought about it. Let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. Let me know any feedback in regards to filming. Again, it's very, very new and we will get better as time goes on. It's just a case of figuring out the better way to go about things and making it look as good as possible. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you learned something. I hope you made this incredible pizza. If you have, don't forget to take pictures and use the hashtag #CookWithNatashaSummar so I can see it and I can give you a shout out in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly Cook With Me's on a Friday at 5 PM and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. So I'm going to put on my apron. Why did I not do the head part? Okay, so now all of the ingredients have been added. I'm going to attach my mixer to the stand and turn it on. Again, that was a bit of a fail, wasn't it? Cheers!